everyone. Today, we're going to talk about something that's absolutely critical for any product manager who wants to level up their career, building what's called a T-shaped skill set. Let's get right into it. So let's kick things off with a question I'm sure you've heard before, maybe even in a job interview. Which one are you? Our industry just loves to put PMs in these tidy little boxes based on whatever we did before we got into product. But here's the thing. What if I told you that is completely the wrong way to think about your skills? And honestly, maybe even your entire career. Because, focusing only on that one specialty, that's actually a trap. And this is really the heart of it. That deep, specialized knowledge you have, maybe in engineering or marketing or design. Yeah, that was your entry ticket. It's what got you in the door. But relying only on that one strength is the absolute fastest way to hit a career plateau. To really lead and have a major impact, you're going to need more. And that something more is exactly what we're going to break down today. This is all about making the jump from just being a specialist to becoming a real leader. It's about becoming a T-shaped PM, which is frankly the model for modern product leadership. So what in the world is a T-shaped skill set? It's actually a pretty simple but super powerful idea. Just picture the letter T. That deep vertical bar, that's your superpower. That's the core expertise we were just talking about. But the horizontal bar that goes across the top, well, that's your toolkit. It's your broad, functional knowledge across all the other areas that it takes to bring a product to life. And I think this quote just nails the whole concept. A great product manager is basically an orchestra conductor. You might have started as a world-class violinist, but your job now isn't to play the violin. It's to understand how the strings, the percussion, the woodwinds, how they all need to work together to create something amazing. You don't need to be able to write production-level code, but you absolutely have to understand the world your engineers live in to guide them well. Okay, so let's really dig in and deconstruct the two parts of this T, because it is so important to understand not just where you're already strong, but also where you need to start intentionally building out that breadth. Right. So that vertical bar is your superpower. It's your origin story, right? It's your comfort zone. Maybe you're a former engineer who can just smell a risky architecture from a mile away, or you're a former marketer who just gets positioning instinctively. That's your anchor. But the horizontal bar, your toolkit, that's the cross-functional fluency you need to lead the whole team with credibility. And let's be real, this is where the real career growth happens. So this here breaks down that horizontal toolkit into what you can think of as the product management triad. Let's walk through it. First, you've got strategy. This is all about your ability to paint a compelling vision, to build a rock-solid business case, and to lay out a roadmap that gets your team genuinely excited. Then there's technology. Now, this doesn't mean you have to be a coder, but can you have an intelligent conversation with your engineers about technical complexity and the trade-offs they're constantly making? And finally, marketing. This is everything to do with deeply understanding your user, knowing the market backwards and forwards, and figuring out the absolute best way to position your product so it actually succeeds. Okay, so now that we have the model down, let's make this practical. It's time to turn that lens around on yourself and figure out exactly where you stand right now. Time for a quick self-audit. This is a super simple 3-step process you can literally do in the next 5 minutes. First, name your superpower. What is the vertical bar of your T? Be specific. Second, and this part requires some real honesty, rate yourself in those other areas: strategy, tech, and marketing. And then step 3 is easy. Where's the biggest gap? Boom, that's your target. That's where you're going to focus your energy. All right, so just identifying your gap is that crucial first step. But now let's turn that awareness into a real, concrete action plan. We're going to walk through some simple but really effective ways to strengthen those weaker spots in your horizontal bar. Okay, let's start with a really common one. Let's say your background is in business or maybe design, and the whole tech side of things feels like a bit of a black box. Your goal here isn't to become a coder, it's to become technically fluent. So the key here is to just start small. Grab a friendly engineer and ask them to draw the system architecture on a whiteboard for you. When you hear about APIs, just think of them like a menu at a restaurant. It's a clear, simple way for different software systems to order information from each other. And when they talk about tech debt, just understand it's like a credit card bill for code, the future cost of choosing an easy fix right now. Knowing these concepts helps you ask smarter questions and make better decisions. And it builds a ton of credibility. Okay, let's flip that around. Maybe you're a former engineer who's amazing at getting things done, but you sometimes struggle with the why behind it all. Well, it's time to build up your business and strategic muscle. And again, small, concrete steps are everything. For the very next feature you work on, just try writing a one-page business case. Answer 3 simple questions. What problem does this solve? How will we measure success? And what's the expected business impact? Then start digging into your company's analytics and go look at your competitors' products. Don't just read about them, use them. See where they're weak. That's how you really start to connect your day-to-day work to the big picture. And finally, let's talk about the one skill that is absolutely non-negotiable for every single PM. I don't care what your background is. And that's becoming the voice of your customer. I mean it. If you're not obsessed with your users' problems, you are just flying blind. So this is your homework starting this week. Block off 30 minutes in your calendar and just read raw, unfiltered customer support tickets. The exact words that real users choose to describe their problems, that is gold. Or even better, just get on a call with them. Learn how to ask questions that uncover what they're really trying to do. You have to live in their world if you want to build a product for their world. So, why does all of this actually matter? Why should you go through the discomfort of learning totally new domains? Well, it's because building out your T is the very thing that transforms you from a specialist who just manages a backlog into a true product leader who shapes what's next. And this right here, this is the ultimate payoff. Product management is a game of influence, not authority. You can't just tell people what to do. You earn their trust by speaking their language, by understanding their constraints, and by connecting all of their hard work to a vision that they find compelling. Your T-shaped skill set, that is the foundation of your influence. It's what gives you permission to lead. So I'm going to leave you with a challenge. Based on that quick self-audit we talked about, what is the one skill you're going to start building this week? Don't try to boil the ocean here. Just pick one area, take one small step, and begin. Because that is how real, lasting growth actually happens.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe and like.